York Knicks stun the Celtics.
Oh my God.
The time is here to be tested for the champions.
Force is the language. Time to speak up.
You don't get into the journey for it to be easy. So you just got to tap into your darkness.
Throw the first punch. Go.
Celtics playing with desperation, playing with force. This was clearly a championship response.
Gotta bring it. Just win.
You need to play with more of a sense of urgency.
Knicks gotta continue to fight.
We've been here before. Come on.
Here the Knicks come again.
Defending champion, you can't relax at all.
It's not supposed to be easy. Yeah, you got to beat us 4 times, not twice.
Game 4 is here. The Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks as we welcome you to the NBA playoffs. Presented by Google. It's the conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Spectacular view outside of New York City. There's also a spectacular view inside Madison Square Garden, courtside, where the celebs are. Spike Lee, of course, in his usual spot. So many longtime Knicks fans. John Leguizamo as well. Natalie Dress, Susie Essman. Been here all season long watching Knicks games. Tina Fey here in Game 4. Tracy Morgan here every single night to watch his Knicks. And Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. Loving life right now as we're set to go for Game 4. Ben Stiller, as big a Knicks fan as you can find. Our starting lineups brought to you by Mountain Dew. So Al Horford will start his 3rd consecutive. Dingus coming on again. Injured in Game 3, but wasn't even listed on the injury report. So he is set and ready to go. And it's going to be fascinating, Richard Jefferson, to see the response after the Celtics completely manhandle the Knicks in Game 3.
That's my favorite part about the postseason is the responses. Are you down? Are you up? How professional are you when you have a team against the ropes? That's what we get to find out about these two teams today.
And Doris with Boston, all right, they get that victory, but they're still behind in the series, so there can't be any drop in that hunger.
No, and both coaches talked to us pregame about pace. Because the Celtics were playing off misses and getting cross matches in transition, they'd like to see that again with their defense.
Last touch by Holiday. And the Knicks will get it. Of course, the crowd fired up just like they were for Game 3, and that changed quickly. It was just the ultimate championship response in that opening quarter. Celtics came out like gangbusters and led the entire game. A wire-to-wire dominant victory. Jalen Brunson pulls up. His first shot won't go. Tatum with a rebound. Knicks talk so much about the slow starts in these games as White knocks down his first 3-pointer. They hit 6 of their first 7 the other night.
Well, even watch that. Off a simple transition, there's ball movement. The Knicks were not matched up in that, and that's why there is an open 3. You got to get locked in and know who you're guarding, especially in transition.
Tatum, who's done a really good job defensively throughout the playoffs. And here on Karl Anthony Towns. Now Holiday comes up on him. Towns rushed it, couldn't get it to fall. Tatum the rebound. He's also been a beast on the boards. Celtics ball movement the other day in Game 3 was spectacular as Jaylen Brown knocks down that shot.
Last game, Jaylen Brown, to me, mixed his perimeter game with his ability to get downhill. If he's below the free throw line and has a small defender on him, good night. That is money in his pocket.
Anunoby lines up, 3-pointer, way off, ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Brown, so the Knicks with 9 on the shot clock will shoot.
All year, Jaylen Brown has made a point of getting to his post-up game, or if he's matched up small as he is against Brunson, just play below the free throw line. He's going to be able to elevate over the top.
So 9 left on the 24. Knicks shot just 40% in Game 3. They've missed their first 3 shots here in Game 4. Shot clock at 5. Hart, nice feed inside. Towns gets it to go. Nice banker from Karl Anthony Towns on a pretty feed from Hart. Brown on the spin, rises up. His bank shot won't go. Towns the rebound. Quick outlet. Josh Hart likes to push the pace. Beautiful bounce pass. Anunoby knocked away and taken by Tatum. Excellent defensive play from Jason Tatum. Tatum telling Horford to go down. Finds Drew Holiday. Brown, extra pass, everybody touching it, and White knocks down another three.
And the reason why you tell Jason Tatum, great direction, the reason why you tell him to go in the post is because you know they're going to have to rotate. So before the pass even happens, they start the rotation.
Brunson gets inside, lowers the shoulder, and Holiday backs off, and he gets his first field goal for Jalen Brunson. This time Horford sets the screen. Karl-Anthony Towns one-on-one coverage. White, quick release again, knocks down another. Derek White red hot to start.
There's spacing all over the floor with shooters at every position. If you're not there on the catch and don't have a great contest, could be a long night.
Yeah, but you can't give up that corner three. It doesn't matter if you're helping out, not from the strong side corner.
And a foul call on Josh Hart as he ran over Drew Holiday. First foul on Hart.
I know Jason Tatum has a one-on-one matchup with Towns, but look at how far Bridges over. You can't be that far with Derek White in the strong side corner. And then here, watch this. He's trying to. The rotation happens before he even throws the ball, and that's why the Boston Celtics are able to get a wide open three, just because of the direction of Tatum.
Tatum the drive, blocked by Bridges. Terrific defensive play, and it's going to be Nick Ball. So already seen some excellent individual defensive plays. Hart brings it up. Brunson looking to go backdoor. Good ball denial from Holiday. Hart. Tatum. Excellent defensive play from Tatum. Sidestep layup is good. We don't sometimes talk enough about his defense.
Mike, he's cross-positional. He's had to check Karl-Anthony Towns a ton, and Tom Thibodeau has seen enough. You can put him at any position. They're switching a lot. He jumps anticipating where Josh Hart wants to go. This guy is so smart.
At Chipotle during the regular season, the key to their success, the Celtics set all-time marks in threes made and attempted. And then here in this series, well, they started off against the Knicks, games 1 and 2, three-point disasters. But then you look to game 3, and it was a three-point clinic, 20 of 40, and they've hit their first 3.
And look, this is where the ball rotation, the ball movement, look at this, the ball barely sticks. Derek White gets that first 3. It is very, very difficult to guard him because they have 5 that can shoot threes.
White, who really struggled from 3 the first couple of games, like everybody on the team, was 3 of 6 in game 3, and now 3 for 3. Dangerous pass, ball deflected. Tatum gets it, throws it behind his back, but White to Bridges. Bridges pulls up his short shot, rolls around, drops off, won't go.
Man, Jason Tatum is absolutely everywhere on the floor.
Brown pulls up three-pointer, just glances the rim. Hart comes up with it. Knicks clearly trying to push the pace rather than playing that half-court defense from the Celtics. Towns against White. There's the double team on Karl-Anthony Towns. Hart to Bridges. Bridges sets, cannot hit. Knicks now 2 for 8 to start. They missed their first 3 threes. Tatum fires away his three-pointer.
If you get Karl-Anthony Towns double teamed, you got to hit those shots out. That's what the Boston Celtics did. You double team Al Horford, and they beat you with a 3. You got to be able to beat him if you're going to double team Towns.
Runs it up top to Bridges. Swings it to Anunoby. White closes immediately. Anunoby on the drive. Pulls up from the baseline. Got it to go. He only had 2 points the entire game 3 after that gem in game 1. And Doris, the Knicks will need somebody besides Jalen Brunson to have a big game offensively.
They feel like a different team when OG Anunoby scores 20, Mike. In that stretch of game, he was averaging 25 without Brunson. He's very capable.
Speaking of being very capable, Brown steps back. His second field goal. They've hit 6 of their first 9 from the field, and that's their 4th three-pointer. Bridges connects on a 3. Knicks get their first 3 to go. Holiday goes right at Jalen Brunson, kicks it back out. Tatum, a nice clean look. Can't get that on the ball. Bridges one-on-one with Derek White. Pull up, got it.
So consecutive plays when they've been in the half court to get OG a look and Mikal a look. It can't be just Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. I like those sets.
Horford, he gets a clean look. That three-pointer won't go. Brunson grabs the rebound, poked away by Holiday. Jaylen Brown goes inside, offensive foul. First foul on Brown. Brunson amongst the NBA leaders in the regular season at drawing charges.
And you see, Brunson gets the rebound, but Drew Holiday's so good. But to your point, though, DB, what I'm seeing so impressive is Jaylen Brown gets the little finish there, and then obviously the charge from Brunson. What I am seeing from the Knicks is that the Celtics have two players, but they have a team around them. It can't just be Karl Anthony Towns and Brunson. The Mikal and OG, they've got to be locked in with them.
Brunson, three-pointers good. Knicks cut it to two. Jalen Brunson, his second field goal. Joe Mazzulla wants a timeout after 8 straight Knick points.
This crowd so desperately wants to be involved tonight. He's got to get this oversized, hold your forearm on the money. Jalen Brunson on the job.
It's two original NBA franchises meeting in the playoffs for the 16th time in this long-standing rivalry. The first time they met in the postseason was back in 1951. The Knicks and Celtics met 5 times in the 60s, twice in the 50s, twice in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This series is the first time they faced each other in the playoffs since the 2013 first round. And the last time the Knicks and Celtics met this late in the playoffs was all the way back in the 1984 Eastern Conference semifinals. The all-time playoff series record, Boston leads 8 series wins to 7. 36-33 is the total game playoff record. Mike?
All right, Lisa, well, that 84 series, Bernard King was magnificent at 44 points in Game 6 to force a Game 7, and then Larry Bird had a 39-point triple-double. The Celtics went on to win the title that year. Hart knocks it away from Brown. Brown again, Hart all over him, contests the shot beautifully. Still got off the good shot. Here comes Hart pushing it up. Hart loves to go coast to coast, kicks it out. Anunoby, a 3. Got it to go. The Knicks in the first 3 games had led for a total of 12 minutes in those first 3 games. And they have their first lead tonight. Of course, did not lead at all in Game 3. Tatum, nice fake, kicks it out in the corner. White tries again. White hits again. Derek White, 4 for 4 from 3-point range.
How many times have we seen Derek White hit big shots, clutch shots? When they need a bucket, it doesn't matter if it's first quarter or fourth quarter, it seems to end up in his hands.
Brunson tries another 3, can't get that to fall. Brown, the rebound. Kristaps Porzingis in the game. He's played a little bit more each game of this series. Still battling, though, that illness. Tatum tried to get it inside, kicked, and a side out for the Celtics.
And that's why you're so hesitant. Those early mistakes allow a player like Derek White to get a rhythm. He gets a open. He's got 4 threes in 7 minutes.
8 for 27 in the first 3 games from 3, but all pieces of the NBA. Tatum against Karl Anthony Towns. Pull up, jump shot. It's good. Second field goal for Tatum.
He's played such stellar defense. Last game he has 6 assists on 3s, but it's not been efficient. You wonder if that wrist is in play at all for Tatum, but that one looked clean and pure.
Holiday all over Brunson. Shot clock already down to 8. That's part of why Holiday's such a great defensive player. Hart steps back. He tries a 3. That won't go. Tatum tips it right to Holiday. Nice feed inside. Brown missed the layup, but the follow is good. I think they're going to call a foul on the initial shot. So no basket. And Brown will shoot 2.
The crispness with which the ball moves sometimes for the Celtics. That little hostage dribble is, you've got somebody on your back, and this, to me, you're working against the big. The Knicks are switching more than they typically do, and he just gets to that medium-range jump shot.
So Brown, who really set the tone to start game 3 at 17 points in the first half. Just so aggressive at attacking. And the Celtics went up by 16 after 1. Time for tonight's playoff schedule, brought to you by PNC Bank. TNT tomorrow night. Indiana trying to eliminate Cleveland game 5 at 7 Eastern. And then the Nuggets and the Thunder all even at 2 apiece. Game 5 from OKC at 9:30 Eastern. What a series that has been.
Mitchell Robinson in the game. How quickly do they go to the hack-a-Mitch?
That has been one of the storylines. Robinson has had such an enormous impact in every other area, but the free throws have hurt the Knicks. The lack of making them, obviously. So Robinson's in. Deuce McBride also in.
And they have 0 team fouls, Mike.
Again, can only do it until there are 2 minutes left in each quarter. Peyton Pritchard's in the game. Pritchard was magnificent the other night. Josh Hart knocks down the 3. So the Knicks also shooting well. 4 of 9 from three-point range. Celtics 5 of 10. Brown fakes. Spins. Offensive foul on Brown. Hart now, that's twice, has done an excellent job on Jaylen Brown, who has 2 fouls.
You know what Josh Hart is going to bring you. The defense, the toughness, the extra effort. That is so impressive, guarding a much bigger Jaylen Brown in the post. But that 3 in the corner, those are the difference makers. When Josh Hart is knocking down shots and getting offensive rebounds, he's a huge difference maker for this Knicks team.
Hart's now 6 of 16 from 3 in the series. Knicks now trail by 2. Celtics open up a 10-point lead early. Brunson gets inside, leans, falling away, shot is up and good. Well, it's a tough angle, and the game is tied. Brunson with 7 early points. Anunoby and Tatum, that's a fun matchup to watch. Elite offense versus elite defense. They lob it into Porzingis, has the height advantage certainly on Hart. Leans in, Hart almost poked it away. And a whistle and a foul. Hart does not think from our angle, it did not look like he made contact on the way up, but that's going to be his 2nd foul.
I actually thought the foul came on the first time he lifted it.
Yep.
I thought this here was the foul. Although he gets a good piece of the ball first, he's coming across his arm.
So Hart with 2 fouls, Brown with 2 fouls, trying to get an explanation from James Williams.
Jalen Brunson just so good. His ability to stop, start, change direction. Now you're talking about the footwork, that extra step. Derek White, one of the best shot blocking guards in the league. So that little step to the right, that gives him enough space to get off that little floater.
Hart sits down, so it's the double big for Tom Thibodeau's Knicks. Towns and Robinson in together. Porzingis, the former Knick lottery pick, misses the 2nd.
He's sizing up because the Celtics are going their double big.
Brunson looking, alley up to Robinson. Perfect connection there, and the Knicks back up by 1. Brunson 7 points, 3 assists. Anunoby trying to fight, excellent screen set by Pritchard. White tries again and is fouled on a 3-point attempt. So first foul by Brunson. And Derek White, what an impact offensively here in the first.
Well, we're talking about being there on the catch, right? Challenging on the catch. He absolutely hits his elbow, and that's going to affect a shooter's ability to get it close.
Well, and DB, you talk about, that's the 2nd jump shot that they have found. Those are the margins that you just can't have.
Derek White now in his 4th year with the Celtics as Brunson tries to get an explanation. White with Bird and McHale. You know, if Tommy Heinsohn was still alive, the great Celtic broadcaster, Derek White would be getting a lot of Tommy points.
No doubt.
Well, Celtics have missed 3 free throws, 3 of 6. Knicks have yet to be to the line. Brown sitting with the 2 fouls, and Hart sitting for the Knicks with 2 fouls. White here, 14 points, 14 of their 25 as we approach the 2-minute mark. Anunoby gets away from White, goes inside, all the way in, missed the layup. Robinson the rebound, finds Towns who banks it home. A lot of contact in the paint there. Tatum picked up by Brunson now. Tatum pulls up, jump shot. Soft touch and bounces forward. Jason Tatum now at 6 points. Pritchard trying to stay with Brunson. Brunson gets inside. The floater's good. 9 early points for Brunson.
And this is the moment in the game in each quarter where Joe Mazzulla, they try and win the end of quarters. They look at it as the last 90 seconds. Can they win the last 90 seconds of each quarter?
Tatum hoists it up. Got a three. Jason Tatum from downtown. And the 3-ball falling once again for the Celtics.
He is hunting either Brunson or Cat every single trip up the floor.
And Anunoby using his screen. He's going to try the 3-pointer. Can't get the answer. Porzingis hauls in the rebound. Final minute here in the first. Tatum way outside. Got it again. Tatum from way downtown. His second 3-pointer. Now the Celtics back up by 5. They're 7 of 12. They were 6 of 7 in the first quarter of game 3. Brunson. Good defense by Tatum and a turnover. He forced Brunson to change what he wanted to do. Pritchard fires away and hits a three. 8 3-pointers here in the opening period. Incredible shooting from the Boston Celtics. Towns puts it on the floor. Back out Brunson. Towns looks up at the shot clock. 1-on-1 with Horford. Towns goes across the lane. And Tatum with a rebound. Tatum 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a couple of steals. Shot clock turned off. Knicks do have a foul to give. Tatum step back, long 3-pointer, puts it in. Jason Tatum lighting up the Garden. Celtics once again knocking down 3 after 3. McBride comes up short, and the Celtics end on a 12-0 run. 9 3-pointers here in the first quarter. Well, Jason Tatum has not shot the ball well, but 15 points here in the first quarter.
I better pipe down about him being inefficient because he's coming to play tonight. He's hunting Brunson. He's hunting Big Cat. And he's saying, you don't have enough teeth to guard me. I'm rolling in New York.
Eyes delivered by Chipotle. Joe, you talk all the time about winning the end of quarters. What'd you like about the way you closed out that first?
The way we closed it out was good. The way we started was not. We got to be better defensively. We got to be more intentional in our help reads. Just got to be better defensively the entire time.
Derek White, 4 for 4 from 3. Just what's been the key to his early success?
Yeah, when he's aggressive, we're at our best. Whether it's in transition in a half court, he's the key to what we do. But we got to be better defensively.
Thank you, Coach. Mike.
All right, Lisa. Meanwhile, as White now resting on the bench, OG Anunoby appeared to hurt his hamstring. He's not on the Knicks bench right now. We're going to try and get an update on that. Pritchard with Mitchell Robinson. Step back, fires over the 7-footer. Can't get it to fall. Towns the rebound. Luke Cornett getting his first minutes tonight. Bridges drives on Cornett. Doesn't bite on the fake. Towns against Tatum. Blocked by Horford. And they're going to count it. Goaltend. Hesitation on the call, but it appeared to be the right one. Here's the play from Anunoby. Right after this, as he was going up the floor, watch him grab the back of the left leg and a little bit of a wince.
That is not a good sign for the Knicks fan. OG is one of those players. He has the ability to guard bigs, to guard Tatum and Brown. That's a key piece for them.
And Anunoby last year in the second round got hurt, and that was a big difference in the Knicks losing to the Indiana Pacers. That was minute here in the second. Celtics with a barrage to end the first period. 12-0 run. Tatum poked away by Bridges, picked up from Cameron Payne. 5 turnovers for the Celtics. Payne way off. Robinson tipped it back. Towns steps back, can't hit the 3. Tatum battling for the rebound. Robinson just out hustling everybody. McBride throws it up and knocks down the 3. There's the impact of Mitchell Robinson.
It's the value of the double big, Mike. If you look at the Knicks numbers in this series in particular, the double big has been its best. When Cat's on the floor alone, it's been a struggle for them.
And you saw Anunoby coming out back at the Knicks bench. Tatum guarded by McBride. McBride, an excellent defender, but huge height advantage. Tatum takes care of that. Can't get the shot to fall. Towns with his 5th rebound. Towns off the bounce, goes inside, alley-oop. Robinson comes down with it again. McBride hoists up a 3, and a whistle, that won't count. Tatum's gonna pick up a foul.
Mitchell Robinson, there was so much about this Knicks team that you really couldn't decide until they got Mitchell Robinson back. He is such a difference maker. Even here on that make, he's going in for another offensive rebound. He knows his job and he does it at an elite level. I will say this about OG Anunoby. If he does have some hamstring tightness sitting on the bench, he's got to stay on the bike. He's got to do something. You don't want to get stagnant in that position.
They're working on it right now on the bench, wrapping it up. McBride drives on Horford, kicks it out. Payne, 3-pointers up. Shot won't go. Towns the rebound, back up and in. Knicks have done a good job on the boards. Celtics still lead by 4.
They're dominating the paint. And they're doing that because there's times where there's cross matches. Pritchard cannot check out on the weak side against them.
Brown getting whacked all the way to the rim. And a whistle blows. More free throws for Jaylen Brown.
Big men struggle. Look at him pushing off Luke Kornet. And then all of a sudden you see Karl Anthony Towns. That's that double big lineup. Kornet is busy there going against Mitchell Robinson, and that leaves a small on Karl Anthony Towns, and he does what he's supposed to do, be big.
Brown, 6 early points, the longest tenured Celtic. Sometimes it's hard to believe it's already his 9th year in the NBA. He had the interesting comment that he said, and it's so right, because a team has to beat us 4 times. That is a difficult thing to do. Knicks getting those first 2 games in Boston. And then the Celtics bouncing back. A lot of playoff experience you saw there. Celtics now 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Knicks have not taken a free throw. Brunson had a good first quarter, currently on the bench. Towns has 2 bigs hanging around. Kornet looking to help. Now Towns with Horford. Towns' very aggressive shot is good. No, they're going to call an offensive foul. Tom Thibodeau furious.
He's looking at that back line. Did Karl Anthony Towns commit an offensive foul? He leads with that right elbow. That's an easy call for the official. Just watch. Al goes up the floor, holding the right side of his face. Surprised he didn't lose a tooth with that.
Surprised they may not have taken a look at that. Those elbows above the shoulder. Holiday poked away by Payne, gets it back up top. Horford. Kornet sets a great screen. Brown nearly lost it though. Horford tries his 3-pointer. That's good. 3-pointer number 10, and Tom Thibodeau's very close to getting a timeout. I mean, a technical, I should say. Screaming at James Williams going up the floor.
Well, he feels all series that Towns is not getting a good whistle, Mike.
Bridges comes up short. Horford, quick outlet to Pritchard. Runs it down. The spin move from Pritchard. Scoop layup is going. Oh, what a sweet move from Peyton Pritchard.
Peyton Pritchard is just so smooth with it, under control, knows his role, and does it with enthusiasm.
McBride, his jump shot, high arcing shot won't go. Robinson, another offensive rebound. Towns winds up picking it up. And Towns stepped out of bounds.
Well, you just talked about it, Richard. The pace with which Pritchard plays, I think, just elevates the Celtics. He's always looking to get you on your heels, and that sets a tone for his team.
Reach in foul on Mitchell Robinson. That'll be his first.
Again, there's just so many places that he's had an effect. The reigning sixth man of the year, he sees a one-on-one opportunity, and just the confidence to know that he can step in there.
He said his mindset before Game 3 was stay confident and let it fly. And he let it fly at his best scoring playoff. Richard drives on Towns, pulls back, nearly lost it. Shot clock at 5. Try again, gets inside on Towns, layup won't go. Porzingis comes flying in and throws it down. 9 straight points by the Celtics, the largest lead of the first half.
So it's been an up and down postseason for Kristaps Porzingis. He's trying to get his wind, his timing all back. But boy, when he's there, Richard, the rim protection and the rim threat is real.
Payne pushes it up. Holiday stays with him. Payne tries a three-pointer. That's no good. Payne 0 for 3 on his three-pointers. Down the other end. Was it deflected? No. So Knicks get it on the 6th turnover by Boston. Well, don't miss a playoff moment with the NBA app. Download the app today. Latest scores, highlights, and behind-the-scenes access to all the drama. Now, this series has had plenty of drama. 2 thrilling comebacks, then a blowout, and this one fun early, but the Celtics up 13. You by Coors Light, DB.
Joe Mazzulla challenges Jason Tatum to affect the game with more than just his scoring. He has been absolutely everywhere. The steals, the rebounding, the ability to push and get into pace. We know they matchup hunt. So he's been seeking out Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. That 3-ball with separation has been on point tonight. Came in tonight talking about he hasn't been efficient with his shooting yet. He's 6 for 9 and 3 for 5, and Richard just across the stat board.
The man is an absolute stud when you look at that. 14 minutes, 15 points, and like you said, across the board. That's what superstars do, and that's why he's a little bit different.
Let's check in with Lisa.
Yeah, Matt, good shoot around this morning. Drew Holiday was talking about how huge that matchup is between Jason Tatum defending Karl Anthony Towns, and the impact of Tatum accepting that challenge and wanting that challenge, how that has fueled the rest of the team on the defensive end. I wanted to ask Richard about that, if teammates really do feel that way, because Holiday said when your best player is playing on both ends of the court, the rest of the team feeds off of that. He said in that regard, he believes that Tatum leads the Celtics in a way that he believes other star players or on other teams just don't do.
Oh, and Lisa, that's a great point. It did. When I was fortunate to play with Jason Kidd, he was our best defensive player, and he ran our offense. Even if you look at defensive plays that LeBron James or other players make, having your star player be a two-way player, that is a complete difference maker for the makeup of your team.
You know, Bridges trying to be a difference maker for the Knicks. 2 excellent plays. Shot blocked by Towns. Bridges on the drive, lost it momentarily, gets it back out to Brunson. Brunson to McBride, open three-pointer, it's good. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla. For sure. It has nothing to do with the Stanley Cup playoffs, so happy about that. Continues tomorrow night. Jets Stars, Game 4 Eastern. Dallas up 2-1. Coverage begins with The Point at 7:30 Eastern.
And the Knicks, we talk about defense to offense. Karl Anthony Towns, that is a big block in a one-on-one matchup against Jaylen Brown. And then watch Brunson, that quick pass, getting your teammates open shots. What that does is that will open up the floor and allow you to work later in the game.
Even outside on the watch party, you can hear the fans deuce. Miles McBride has become a very popular player. 2nd-round pick, played at West Virginia. Tough, physical, didn't play a lot of minutes early because he wasn't a good offensive player in terms of shooting from the perimeter. He's turned into an excellent three-point shooter. Approaching the midway point here in the second. Brunson guarding White. Robinson helps. Brunson now on Porzingis, who wants the ball, but Brown left wide open and can't hit the 3. Bridges the rebound. Anunoby set to check back in. That's a good sign for the Knicks. Towns against Tatum. Towns inside, lays it up and in. 9 straight points by the Knicks, back within 4. White, good closeout from Bridges, but Tatum is left wide open and hits another 3. The 11th three-pointer of the first half, and there's still 5.5 to play in the second.
Just like coming out of the gates to start the first period, you've got to match up to the three-point line if you're playing the Boston Celtics. OG is at the scorer's table. We'll watch how he moves when he comes back in.
Robinson to Towns. Again, Tatum closes. Towns drives in. Offensive foul on Towns. That's going to be his second. Derek also.
Karl-Anthony Towns, he has not got the benefit of the whistle there. I think there's a little bit of frustration where he's trying to force it. Derek White is standing there all day. He's got to be able to see it. Then watch this. They're still not matched up. This is Jason. That's the double big lineup. That's why they brought OG in to get one of the bigs out.
Porzingis on the catch, surrounded. Wild pass, White, corner 3. Porzingis offensive rebound, back to White. Off the bounce, drives past Towns, and that's going to be the 3rd foul on Karl-Anthony Towns. Derek White took it aggressive to the goal. He'll shoot free throws.
There is not a doubt in my mind that he knows Cat has 2, and he's got to close out to 15 feet and manage as a 7'2" guy to stay in front of me. Derek White, there's so much subtle, nuanced understanding to who he's matched up against and what the game situation is.
Well, foul trouble again for Karl-Anthony Towns. This will be the 10th and 11th free throw for Boston. They miss again. They're 6 of 10. Knicks have not taken a free throw yet here in the first half.
Well, it's very tough for Karl-Anthony Towns, right, to close out to that distance, Richard. Preaching to the choir here, you had to do it as a player. But to do it with choppy steps and do it against a smaller guy.
He had trouble doing it as well.
I did, and I was smaller. But to your point, the Knicks have not shot a free throw. I understand some of the frustration that's going on with Karl-Anthony Towns, and they just got to keep attacking and let it swing the other way.
By the way, the Celtics defensively, they were #1 in the NBA in opponents' fewest free throw attempts. They don't foul a lot. That's one of their real strengths as a defensive team. As Bridges drives, pulls up, Porzingis, good contest. Tatum knocks it away from Robinson. Boy, Tatum's doing a little bit of everything here in the first half. Holiday kicks it up. Porzingis is going to try a three-pointer. Josh Hart with a rebound. Hart had early foul trouble. 8-point game, 4.5 to play here in the second. And Anunoby, his three-pointer, got it.
And that's the key to him. I mean, he and Mikal were the top 2 corner three-point shooters in the league all year. Celtics have made a concerted effort to take him away. When you get a clean look in your OG, you are thrilled.
Holiday on the bounce, drives, Robinson right with him. Tatum gets a running start, whips it back to Holiday, chased off the line. Brown, three-pointer, oh, but it's good. Another open three-pointer in the corner, and Brown now in double figures with 11. They're 12 of 22 from 3. Brunson searching. Shoots over Porzingis again. Mitchell Robinson, yet another offensive rebound. Lines up. Bridges can't connect. Brown drives on Robinson, gets inside, layup, missed it. And that foul won't count. As Brown was fouled on the initial shot, Mitchell Robinson will pick up his second personal.
Interesting, Mike. No hack-a-Mitch here in the first half, something we saw in prior games. He took a career playoff high 12 free throw attempts. I find it interesting not going to it here, Richard.
You know, Doris, because they only committed 3 fouls the entire half, so they'd have to commit a bunch to get to that point. I mean, Celtics, considering how well they're defending, how tough they've been, to only commit 3 personal fouls.
Well, and that's where you give a compliment to Joe Mazzulla. There is a strategy behind it. If you got 3 fouls right now and just 3:22, now you can do it because it's 1-2 possession. But if you're at 1 or 0, it's very, very difficult to get that on.
Brown hits another. You know, Tom Thibodeau at halftime is going to look at the stat sheet and see 13 free throw attempts to none, and he's not going to be very pleased. Brunson drives. Nice pass in the corner. Hart left wide open. Hart can't get it to go. And another offensive rebound from Mitchell Robinson. That's his fourth. And a sarcastic cheer from the crowd. But a whistle was called against the Celtics. Only the second team foul. Only the fourth foul of the whole half.
And Porzingis has to be locked in. Like, he's having to face guard Luke Cornett. It doesn't matter. Whatever big is out there is having to face guard Mitchell Robinson, and it's really not working.
Anunoby. Hart gets knocked down. Anunoby puts up the three. Can't get to the full. Another offensive rebound. That's now for Robinson. 5 offensive boards. Hart the spin. Falling away. Blocked by Tatum. And it goes out of bounds. Josh Hart was complaining about the no call to Spike Lee, not to James Williams there.
Just Jason Tatum. Oh, what a complete. I'm going to contest from behind. Great close.
Second block for Tatum. Shot clock winding down. Bridges. Brown. Tatum able to get it. And Brunson knocked into him. Picked up by Brown. And a loose ball fall against Tatum. Well, that was bizarre. It looked like Brunson initially with the foul, but I guess they felt that nobody had possession.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a foul on Brunson. I don't blame the frustration from Tatum.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a foul.
But Jason Tatum also has to be careful. He just waves at the official, kind of dismissing him. You're not allowed to do those hand gestures. I know fans don't like it, players get frustrated, but those are the rules.
You wave your hand to me when I tell you to button your shirt.
And I get frustrated too. I try to give the people what they want, Mike.
Meanwhile, foul call. It's Holiday. That's going to be his first. All of a sudden, Celtics 14 fouls with 2:31 to go.
So now do you do hack a Mitch here?
Yes,
I believe they're going to do it.
And Tom Thibodeau tried to get Towns in. No, he's going to send in Precious Achiuwa. Towns has 3 fouls, so he didn't want to take a chance of picking up a 4th. So Achiuwa's going to come in. Mitchell Robinson, meanwhile, 5 offensive rebounds in 13 minutes.
And it gets them off the floor. They knew the strategy coming. It was the perfect time to do it. You got 30 seconds and a smart counter by New York.
Robinson saying the other day, it shows I'm a threat. They want me off the floor, but he's got to start hitting free throws. Hart up top, Anunoby. Thought about a 3, now drives, goes inside. Achiuwa just off the bench, couldn't get it to fall. Tatum with 6 rebounds. He's 3rd in the NBA playoffs in rebounds per game. Drives on Achiuwa, falling away, baseline. Won't go, Porzingis tips it in over Anunoby. And it's back to double figures. Brunson drives, the float is up, shot no good. Holiday pushing. Knicks get back, Holiday falls down, ball batted around several times. White picks it up, another broken play. And a foul on the pass. Knicks are in the penalty. So more free throws for Boston.
So easy defensive rebound on one end. Mitchell Robinson's off the floor, so what's going to happen? Kristaps Porzingis is going to easily get the tip in. That's a defensive rebound if that's Mitchell Robinson.
So Robinson's going to come back in now that it's under 2 minutes. Can no longer play the hacker Mitch. Again, for those unfamiliar with the rule, once it gets under 2 minutes in each quarter or overtime, it becomes an away from the play foul, and anybody on the floor can shoot it. It's 1 shot and possession. White hits that one. Halftime presented by Hyundai coming up. Malika, Windy is going to be there. Tatum turns up in the first half. Shanae as well. Everybody goes by just 1 names now. You notice that?
No.
Richie?
No, well, look, this is a big minute 45. The last 90 seconds of the first quarter, the Celtics go on a 12-0 run. How are the Knicks going to respond in this last minute 42 going into halftime?
Porzingis there in the first half, 12 minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Again, slowly trying to increase his minutes and feel better. his stamina. White, sensational first half. Hit his first 4 threes.
Cornette's played 4 minutes, Mike, and athletically, Robinson is going to be a challenge for him to deal with on the backboard. So can the New York Knicks get a couple of chances if there's a missed shot?
Another Celtic run as equals the largest lead of the half. Brunson back up top to Bridges. Shot clock at 7. Bridges on the bounce. White stays with him, finds Brunson. Brunson gets it off. Bank shot won't go, but Holiday just picked up his second foul. And another sarcastic cheer from the Knicks fans. This will be the first free throw attempts of the half for the Knicks.
Just trying to be in his airspace on the catch.
He's so crafty, though. And we're not even talking about the stop, the starts, the pivots, the footwork. Also, being a left-handed player throws players off so much just because of where it is on your body.
Brunson now in double figures with 10. Porzingis will come in for the final 120. You know, Jay Wright, I heard him speaking on a Villanova podcast when he was talking about Jalen Brunson at Villanova. Wright said, I thought I was the most, and he drove me even more. Wow. That's pretty high praise from a Hall of Fame coach.
I think he's played an incredibly patient half of basketball. 10 points, 5 as the clutch player of the year. You've talked about it. You got to keep game pressure on the Boston Celtics and give him a chance late.
Well, there's another Villanova grad who's now the leader of millions around the world, but he has been the leader, Jalen Brunson, here in New York over the Knicks. Tatum splits the defense. Beautiful move. Gets inside. It just blocked by Robinson. And they call a goaltend. Ball hit the rim before.
Man, that was a great read. Watch this split. He's understanding Mitchell's closing. I can attack that body. That's a big-time move right there.
And this is a big-time first half for Tatum. 20 points, 6 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of steals, couple of blocks. And he'll play 20 of the 24 minutes here in the first half. Bridges on the drive, keeps that dribble alive, looking for somebody, finds Josh Hart. Hart passes up the shot, Bridges gets it back, finds Robinson, and Porzingis comes up with a steal. Knicks with their 8th turnover. Hart trying to poke it away. Tatum way outside, and an air ball. Trying for a 2-for-1 there. I often feel, and some coaches do too, the 2-for-1 sometimes is ridiculous because that first shot is usually such a horrible shot.
Yeah, I agree, but it's also who shoots the 2-for-1 that you allow. Jason Tatum, you give him that luxury.
There's about an 8-second difference shot clock and game clock. Brunson falls down, and Horford called for a foul. He doesn't believe it. More free throws for Brunson.
Yeah, he's going against the big, taking his time, and then those little missteps, you see him kind of wincing at the ankle. You don't know if it's kind of just like that false step, but Jalen Brunson is going to continue putting pressure on you for 48 minutes.
So after no free throws for the first 23 minutes of the half, Knicks getting to the line a couple of times here down the stretch. Compared to what happened in Game 3, Knicks are playing so much better, and they're still down a dozen.
Well, and it's the three-point shot. That's the difference. The Boston Celtics came out with a three-point barrage, and they've maintained it, but the Knicks have answered much better than they did in that Game 3.
Brunson hits a pair. Shot clock turned off, no fouls to give. White hands off to Brown, lost it momentarily, steps back. Hart tries to avoid the contact, and that will end the first half. The Celtics Another three-point clinic. 12 of 24 here in the first half. Jason Tatum with 20 points in the opening 2 quarters. 8 of 13 from the field. 4 of 7 from 3. Not just 20 points, did it on the defensive end as well. Celtics trying to even up this series at 2 games apiece. Halftime of game 4. Celtics up 11.
The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN are delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle, for real. And in part by Miller Lite. With great taste and only 96 calories, it's Miller time.
Jason Tatum will be filling in for Superman.
Jason Tatum is crushing it as substitute Superman.
In crunch time, he transformed into Super Jason.
That was his ankles.
Yo, he posterized that giant robot.
I told you, he's got that dog in him.
I am not filling in for Lex Luthor. Stop asking me that.
Jason, you saved the day, but why would Superman need a day off?
I think he just wanted to watch the playoffs.
Welcome back. NBA playoffs presented by Google. Conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. The Knicks fans still hopeful of the outdoor watch party. They had some good things to cheer about. But the Celtics overall, once again, with a double-figure lead here in Game 4. First half stats brought to you by Grey Goose Vodka. DB, once again, it's the 3-ball.
9 for 14 on open threes. Some of these open shots completely unacceptable. Richard, out of the gates. You said they weren't matched up.
They weren't matched up. And if your #1 goal is to give away, not give up threes, that is not how you want to start. And then a guy like Jason Tatum gets going. But watch the ball movement. They're throwing it across. Not matched up. Mikal Bridges is trying to guard Derek White and Jason Tatum. They've got to communicate much better than that.
So again, 11-point lead for the Celtics. Hi again, everyone. With Richard and Doris, Mike Breen on hand. We'll check in with Lisa in a moment. Well, we just saw Jason Tatum playing Superman in a commercial. He was Superman in the first half.
No, it was impressive to watch. He was doing the defense on tap. And the assist. He did a little bit of everything, and that's what you need from your superstar.
Some good resilience, but they still find themselves down by 11 points. What did you like from the Knicks in the first half?
Well, I thought Jalen Brunson was sensational with the tempo with which he played, and you just need to keep game pressure on. You want to be going into the 4th within 10. Make the Celtics prove they can beat you in a possession ball game.
Of course, that was the case in games 1 and 2, coming back from 20 down. White misses. Holiday offensive board. Brown, oh, beautiful move inside, and an easy layup for Jaylen Brown. So back to 13, equaling the largest lead.
Mike, one of the things coming out of halftime, we were down 10, 12 points. The goal was to make the other team call the first timeout. Make Boston call the first timeout if you're the Knicks.
Towns kicks it out to Hart. Shot clock at 4. Bridges off the bounce, gets to the baseline, leans in, layup is good. Pretty move and adjustment for Mikal Bridges. He's got 11 points. Brown with 14 so far tonight. Drives again, gets inside, shot blocked by Bridges. Excellent defensive play. Brunson in the front court. Keeps that dribble alive. Towns wants it down low. He's got White on him. And Holiday lurking. Shot is good and a foul. How did he do that? Karl Anthony Towns slipped it in after taking some contact.
This was a matchup problem from the outset for the Boston Celtics. You got Derek White, who is a brilliant defensive player, but this is a size mismatch. Drew tries to come over. He's got unbelievable feet. And Karl Anthony Towns, finally an N1 opportunity.
Boy, there was contact everywhere on that play from the opening dribble from all 3 players. Holiday, meanwhile, his 3rd foul. He was in some foul trouble in game 3, and that had Peyton Pritchard getting some extra minutes. We know how that turned out as we check in with Lisa.
Hey, Mike, an update on Jalen Brunson, who appeared to re-aggravate that right ankle at the end of the second quarter. You could see the ankle roll as it kind of hit Al Horford's leg, and Brunson went to the floor grimacing. Horford was called for a foul. Brunson shot 2 free throws. He limped to the line both attempts, then limped back to the locker room at halftime. I've been told he didn't get any treatment at the half. He came out of the locker room, put some shots up like usual, but something, Mike, to keep an eye on the rest of the way.
Well, he's had a bunch of games taken out during the Pistons series, but always returned. By the way, that was some pass from Tatum on that last play. Anunoby on the drive, deflected out. Nick Ball 7 to shoot. And this was the play that Lisa just referenced. Just jammed it right into the right foot of Horford. Horford was upset the foul call, but that's why the foul was called. Alley-oop, Towns. Nice backdoor play. And Towns able to get the bucket. He's the Knicks' leading scorer with 15. Much more aggressive and attacking tonight.
Yeah, he is. He's come out. Even OG has come out before the hamstring. They're about 2 or 3 possessions away from what we talked about and making the Celtics have to react with some sort of timeout.
Tatum finds some space, gets an opening, and hits another 3. His 5th three-pointer. He's got 23.
They're just relentlessly attacking Karl Anthony Towns. And they're putting him into every action and just saying, guard all over the floor.
Brunson can't get it. Horford gets the rebound. White stripped by Josh Hart. Hart falls down. Knicks upset, but there should have been a foul call. Tatum comes up with a steal. Tatum kicks it back out. White, plenty of time, sets, fires, and rattles in another 3. And this is now the largest lead of the game. Timeout, Knicks. Celtics a 14-point lead here in the 3rd.
ESPN Bet Sportsbook has you covered all playoffs long. Keep up with big-time matchups. Get daily profit boost.
Second game of the doubleheader from San Francisco. Julius Randle and the Timberwolves looking to take a commanding 3-1 lead in that best-of-7 series. Meanwhile, here in New York, a costly sequence for the Knicks.
So you're going to see a terrific steal. I thought this was a foul on Derek White.
No, yeah, they have not. The Knicks have not got the benefit of a whistle. You got to keep playing through it, but ultimately, this is what happens. Derek White, who has been on fire from the start of the game, has been going.
And they continue to seek out the dance partner for Jason Tatum, and he is looking for Karl Anthony Towns, who's in a position yet again to have to close to a shooter. What do you think of the celebration there?
I don't know. It's new. I want to ask him about it. I want to say a little hold the wrist, throw up a 3. I think he's saying that his wrist is fine, DB.
Okay.
Well, 9 of 14 from the field tonight for sure. 8 on the 24. Not had many clean looks like that throughout these playoffs. 16 points for Brunson. Celtics 50 from 3-point range. Brunson trying to help now on Tatum. Calling for White to come over to help. Throws it back to White. Shot clock at 4. White off the bounce. His first 2-point shot of the night. That won't go. And Towns the rebound. Brunson drives past Horford, gets inside, leans in, bangs it in. Back-to-back buckets for Brunson. The Celtic lead cut to 9. Tatum again with Towns on him. Looking to back up. Shot clock at 7. Long 3-pointer. Won't go. Hart comes flying in for the rebound.
Boy, boxes and elbows. Everybody in the gaps.
Hart to Brunson. Brunson another 3. Fouled on the 3-point attempt. And they say they're going to review it as well. The concern obviously for the Knicks. Did it affect the ankle? 3rd foul on Brown.
It looks like he's wiggling the left ankle.
Yeah, the right one is the one that he was out
checking
for.
To see if the foul on the floor that's called to be able to meet the criteria for a flagrant foul.
This would be a huge call.
Jaylen Brown with the late closeout, and that's the actual opposite of what you wanted, and that is the left ankle. You can see it. That's just not the closeout that's the closeout that the league tried to outlaw. Watch, and I don't think it's intentional, but look, it has that left leg out. There's not a lot of space for landing zone.
Those are the ones when you put the foot in, it's often called a flagrant, even as you said, intentional, not intentional. But that's exactly the reason why it started. You see Brunson go down. So now both ankles perhaps bothering him. Well, it's 7:39 remaining here in the third. Knicks down by 9. A very important call. If it's a flagrant, it's 2 free throws and possession. 3 free throws, excuse me, and possession.
I think that's the call. I don't see there, you know, a guy rolls his ankle, shooting 3. You called the foul. You see the contact. I think it's a pretty simple one.
Scott Foster.
After review, it's been determined that the call on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 1 for the defender for having a reckless closeout and not allowing the shooter, Jalen Brunson, to land safely. He'll shoot 3. They'll retain possession of the ball.
Yeah, again, that's, and you said it, Richard, that's exactly why the rule changed several years ago. Let's bring in Steve Javy, our referee expert. Steve, your thoughts on this particular play?
Yeah, Mike, what they look for also on this play too is how far the defender comes to slide his foot in the lane of the shooter. And in this situation, you have the defender sliding his foot there. Brunson can't land safely. Therefore, the potential for injury is there. Therefore, a flagrant foul penalty 1.
Thank you, Steve. Always lovely to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see Steve and not be getting a technical from him.
You didn't have many. No, you did have a lot. We checked this out.
No,
once.
I didn't have a lot.
I know, it was like one per year.
I had 41 technicals in my career, Mike. That's not bad. You say 1 per year?
Well, you played a long time. So 3 free throws in possession. Brunson now with 20.6 assists. And these are the type of things that can help you get back in. Celtics came out scorching again here to begin the third. Went up by 14. That's the first missed free throw by the Knicks. And Tom Thibodeau's team has been trailing most of this game. Did grab a lead a couple of times after trailing the entire game 3. Bridges against White. Tough shot, gets it a go. 9 straight points by the Knicks. The lead cut to 5.
That is Mikal Bridges' sweet spot. That little fade is his go-to.
Crowd back into it. They were completely taken out of the game the other afternoon. White hesitated on the 3 and then nails it. 6 of 8 from 3-point range. Incredible long-distance shooting from Derek White. Just over 5 minutes gone by in this third period. Brunson against Horford. Drives, pulls back, looking, finds Hart. Hart not expecting it. Now Bridges, his corner 3. In and out. Hart, offensive rebound. Back out, stolen by Tatum. Tatum ahead of the pack, goes in and throws it down. Great anticipation for Tatum. That's his 3rd steal. And a costly turnover. Brunson gets past Horford, goes inside, layup is good. Another slick move from Jalen Brunson.
His ability. How many inches is he giving up, and the finish?
Hart falls down, gets back up. Holiday looking to post him up. Shot clock winding down. Throws up the shot, no good. Towns, the 2-handed rebound. Hart wants to push, but the Celtics back defensively. Towns off the bounce, goes to the rim, layup, banks it in. Timeout, Joe Mazzulla. The lead cut to 6. And the crowd coming alive here at the Garden.
Karl Anthony Towns showing up big, going big versus big. Gets an own one. And then here, Brunson, watch the footwork. Takes his time, shuffles, uses that left hand inside. Knicks are cruising down by 6.
And Disney Plus, defending champion Liberty hosts the Aces at 1 Eastern. Then Caitlin Clark on the Fever hosts Angel Reese in the Sky. Coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 12:30. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, the 2 All-Stars for the Knicks, trying to get them back in after trailing by 14. Brunson, an excellent third quarter so far. Towns much more aggressive, Doris.
I'll tell you, they've taken away his 3s for the most part in the series. Mike, he's dominating in the paint, either off drives or post-ups.
White to Tatum. Bridges guarding him. Shot clock at 6. Tatum leans in, difficult shot, gets it to go. Tatum, 27 points. A brilliant performance so far. Boston back up by 8. Anunoby. Derek White chasing Jalen Brunson. Fake, fire, connects. Another three-pointer for Brunson. He's got 12 points already in the period, and there's still 5 minutes remaining. Jaylen Brown gets past hard, gets to the rim, banks it home. Another aggressive attack from Jaylen Brown.
And that's just the good balance. Jaylen Brown, 2 for 6 from the three-point line, but 5 for 12 overall. Just a consistent attack. Brunson
kicks it to Hart, but Porzingis was right there. Brunson, that one won't go. Tatum grabs another rebound. 7-point Celtic lead, just over 4.5 to go here in the third. They lob it into Porzingis. Stolen by Bridges. Brown tries to stop him. Pritchard in pursuit from behind. Knocked loose out of bounds. Still Nick Ball.
Just incredible effort. You save what could be a layup at foul. Little N1. Pritchard's sprint. I mean, this young man just never gives up on a play. Yes, your teammate's neck and neck, but don't assume anything.
That's winning basketball.
Yes, it is.
Towns catches, turns, quick shot, got it. Towns having his best game, efficiency-wise, 9 of 12 from the field, and it's back to 5. He's got 9 of his 19 in this third period. Tatum using the screen, and Anunoby runs over Porzingis. Oh, Anunoby picks up his first foul.
It looks like he's on the line of scrimmage.
Yes, it does. Looks like a football block.
Celtics 3rd and 4. As Tatum will inbound, 14 on the shot clock.
That's what you call it, right? The line of scrimmage?
Yes, yes. I think so.
Thank you. Doris Burke, our football maven here on the telecast. Tatum, catch. Off the dribble, gets in the paint, stops falling away, puts it up, puts it in. Tatum dominating here in game 4, the lead back up to 7. He has 29 points without a free throw. Brunson kicks it out. Anunoby, corner 3. Rebound, Brunson. Back up, bang shot is good. Brunson and Tatum throwing haymakers at each other. 2 of the game's elite going toe-to-toe. Tatum on the drive. Towns trying to stay with him. Shot clock at 8. Shoots another 3. Won't go. Anunoby rips down the rebound. Hard in the open floor. Goes right at Brown. Inside layup. Blocked. And a foul called on Brown. That's 4 on Jaylen Brown. And the Knicks could cut it to 3 here at the line.
Josh Hart downhill. That's what he does. Yes. Jaylen Brown gets about just how shifty he is, be able to get that off the glass with Porzingis, 7'4" shot blocker there. That is so difficult.
Catalyst for this Knicks team time and time again. He's a good free throw shooter, but misses that one. Knicks now 7 of 9 from the line. Celtics have led by as many as 14 points here in the third quarter. Of course, games 1 and 2 in Boston. Big second half comebacks for the Knicks. Brown will rest with the 4 fouls.
Now the Celtics have won the first quarter, last 2 minutes. They've won the second quarter, last 2 minutes. This is a big 3 minutes for the New York Knicks.
So many people talk about that. The coaches closing quarters essential. Hart and Porzingis wrestling down low. Porzingis the height advantage, makes a difficult shot attempt, can't get it. Towns the rebound. He's got 11 of those. Here's Bridges. Bridges pulls up jumper. Too strong. Anunoby tracks it down. Fakes, kicks it out Brunson. Oh, good defense from White, but Brunson still looking, falling away, puts it up. That's good. Jalen Brunson does it again. It's a 2-point game. Timeout Boston. And Madison Square Garden has come alive.
So we've talked all game about Brunson being patient. So got plenty of time here, Richard, and get to the opposite side of the floor. Get in the vision of the offensive rebounder. It's one-on-one from here. You got one guy to beat. Oh, I see that fade away.
Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves looking to take a 3-1 lead tonight on the road against the Warriors. That's the second game of our doubleheader. Knicks and Celtics. The home team has still not won a game here in this series. Road team winning the first 3. Knicks have cut a 14-point lead to 2. White hoist up three-pointer off the mark. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Anunoby. No, it's Josh Hart. And that's 3 on Hart. That's the first instant now as an NBA player. Look up at the big screen.
That's a tough one.
It sure is.
You know, we mentioned before.
Tatum fires away, too strong. Rebound, Brunson. Brunson fakes and brings it back out with Tatum in pursuit. Brunson puts up a 3. Bridges deflects it. Ball goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Celtic ball. Brunson with 16 of his 29 here in the third as we're under 2 minutes to play. Tatum 9 of his 29 here in this third period. Shot clock at 7. Tatum one-on-one with Anunoby, fires away. Air ball, White with the save to Harper, back to White, corner 3. And Bridges the rebound. Josh Hart. Back out Towns, fakes, drives, and draws the foul. Shot won't count. It will not count as Tatum bumped him before the field goal attempt. That's going to be 3 fouls on Tatum and free throws for Towns.
Oh yeah, it's well before. It's a good call.
And my mistake, that's only the 14th foul. First in the last 2 minutes. Brunson guarded by White. Drives into the paint, pulls back, looks up at the shot clock. He's got to get it off. Falling away, puts it up, puts it in. A Brunson barrage here in the third quarter. The game is tied. Tatum drives, gets inside, tripped up and goes down. And he's shaken up on the play. Tatum with a burst of speed, looking to throw it down. Flexing that right wrist. Meanwhile, Josh Hart picks up his 4th.
And just downhill. And this is just unlucky, steps on it, and then you just brace yourself. That's exactly how he hurt that wrist in the Orlando series, forced him to have to deal with that the rest of the way. So anytime you fall down, a normal brace, that's still going to
piece of that exact spot right before the fall.
Mazzulla walked and sat on the bench. He didn't yell to him to get up like he did. Like he did. Joe Mazzulla, the outstanding young coach for the Celtics. And Tatum now at 31. Celtics back up by 2. Final minute, third quarter. Brunson being chased by White. Cornette picks him up for the help. Brunson drives inside. The floater won't go. Josh Hart's tip misses. Fight for the rebound, and White in traffic comes away with it, but called for a travel. Boy, it looked like he got bumped. Knicks surrounded him. White just smiles.
No, I think he just traveled. It's really good pressure by New York without bodying up and fouling.
Holiday will check in. Cornette will sit down. 41.2 seconds here in the third. Holiday now on Brunson. Brunson drives inside, kicks it out, Anunoby. Wide open three-pointer. It's good! Down 14 earlier in the period. Knicks now back on top. About a 7.5-second difference shot clock and game clock. Tatum searching, drives, pulls back, fires away. Rebound Bridges, 8 seconds remaining. Hart in the front court. Hart the drive, gets to the rim, bank shot is good. 2.5 remaining. Pritchard wants the ball. This is his specialty. Pritchard from half court at the buzzer. And that ends the third quarter. Jalen Brunson, brilliant in the period. Jason Tatum trying to match it. We head to the fourth quarter. Knicks with a 3-point lead.
Came alive and took over that third quarter. What are you seeing from your superstar?
Well, I think that we got some stops, and then we were able to get into transition and get him into space. It's very difficult to guard in space.
Jason Tatum also got hot in that third quarter. What do you have to do defensively against Tatum to keep him from beating you in the fourth?
You got to stay disciplined. He has the ability to make tough shots, but we got to take his airspace away.
All right, Lisa. Mikal Bridges, who has played a strong, aggressive game, 15 points. This is the Knicks' largest lead. Again, after they trail by 14 in the third. Jaylen Brown. Tied up by Bridges. McBride almost took it away. Pritchard, the spin move, gets inside. Comes down. A whistle and a foul. Pritchard gets knocked to the floor. Knicks wanted to travel.
This looked like a play going nowhere. He's trying to get some contact, and there's a foul, obviously, on Mitchell Robinson. How about this, though, if you're the Knicks? In the unusual position of being in the lead in the fourth.
It's the first time he was riding him. Is that Mike's over here? Right. They were like, it's a travel. It's like he's riding him like a horse.
No, Pritchard, he just found the one angle where he could go. So he's going to get to the free throw line. So knocks down the first. Got it to 4. Jason Tatum got the wraparound on that right wrist. 31 points through 3 quarters. That's where it seemed to aggravate it. Boy, Pritchard doesn't matter the situation. He is fearless no matter what the situation.
No, it was so awesome to have an opportunity to speak to him. The man said he won 4 state championships, was a rookie point, or was a freshman starter as a point guard. Then he went to the Final Four. These moments he's used to.
Bridges falling away. Mikal Bridges with some big buckets. Lead back to 5. Derek White searching. Brown guarded by Towns. Drives inside, lays it up and in. Beautiful move from Jaylen Brown. And we start the fourth quarter with the teams exchanging buckets. Bridges pulls back. Luke Cornette. Al Horford's guarding Robinson. Hart pulls back. Jump shot in the paint. Comes up short. Robinson trying to tip it, but it goes right to Pritchard. And lost it. Oh, a blocking foul called on Hart. And that's 5 on Josh Hart.
We talked about the Knicks not necessarily getting the benefit of the whistle. I don't see that as I think that's a charge. And I think Tom Thibodeau wants to check it out. Watch.
He's going to challenge
it. Square.
Thibodeau with the first challenge of the night. Right now, Hart has 5 fouls.
The NBA Conference semifinals on ESPN are delivered by Chipotle. Real ingredients, real flavor. Chipotle, for real.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
After review, it's been determined that Josh Hart tripped him with his left foot and was outside the plane of his body. The call will be a blocking foul and upheld. The challenge deemed unsuccessful. They recharge the timeout. They will not be able to challenge subsequent plays. The game clock been reset to 10:23, and the shot clock's back to 20.
Josh Hart remains with 5 fouls. The Knicks have 2 team fouls. The Knicks are charged with a timeout and do not have another challenge remaining in the game.
Just watch me dance.
Welcome once a Knick, always a Knick, Knick legend.
NBA playoffs presented by Google. Conference semifinals delivered by Chipotle. Again, game number 4 coming up. Out west, Timberwolves and Warriors. Draymond Green and the Warriors trying to even things up. Meanwhile, challenge unsuccessful. And Scott Foster saying that Hart's feet were outside the shoulder width.
I don't necessarily agree with that call. To me, he hits him in his chest, then tries to spin out and trips on the spin out. I don't think Josh Hart could have done anything differently in that moment.
Brutal call, Mike, because it was going to be 5 fouls on either Josh Hart or Jaylen Brown.
So Hart's on the bench with 5 fouls. McBride in, Anunoby deflects it, and then a loose ball foul on Brown. Now he has 5 fouls. OG Anunoby, elite defense there.
Just a menace defensively. Great anticipation and obvious to me. That's.
Well,
they're just calling that a common foul on Jaylen Brown.
Well, they didn't have possession, so it's a loose ball, so it's not a possession.
Yeah.
No transition take foul there. McBride, Bridges, Robinson, Towns, the 2 bigs, and Anunoby. Brunson right now on the bench, as is Jason Tatum. Bridges drives on Horford, looks inside, brings it back out, finds Towns, guarded by White. Towns spins, flips it up and in. 21 points for Towns. Knicks back up 5. He's 10 of 13 from the field.
Almost all of his shots, Mike, in the paint.
Tatum against Towns, backs up. Shot clock at 9. Tatum. Oh, what a shot from Jason Tatum. Little extra English, and a lead back to 3. 33 points for Tatum. Bridges comes a double team, now finds Towns, quick three-pointer, that won't go. Robinson, offensive rebound to McBride, three-pointers up, and Horford grabs it. Still over 9 minutes to go here in game 4. Tatum drive to Porzingis, steps back, three-pointer, too strong. White comes up with it. Porzingis down the floor. No good. Late whistle and a foul. Towns clearly hit him, and that's Towns' 4th foul.
So you talk about the winning on the margins. Offensive rebounding is a piece of that. It's a 3, so it comes out long. Derek White just in the right spot, and there's the contact by Towns.
Of course, Boston first half 12 of 24 from 3. They're 3 for 13 since. As Tatum set to check back in. Tomorrow's playoff schedule doubleheader on TNT. Game 5, Cleveland at home trying to keep their season alive. And then Denver and Oklahoma City. Game 5. All tied up at 2 apiece. No, Porzingis, when he first came back after being traded by the Knicks, he was booed every single time he touched the ball, despite him being a good player for the Knicks. But now it's much less. 7 points, 4 rebounds for Porzingis. Knicks lead is 1. Porzingis guarding Brunson. Kicks it out, Bridges. Bridges gets away from Wright. Once again, the two-pointer from Bridges. He's got 19. Doris, you said at the top, somebody besides Brunson really had to have a big game, and the Knicks have gotten a few. Tatum steps back, three-pointer. That's good! Jason Tatum, his 6th three-pointer, and the game is tied.
Mike, and the scoring Mikal did in this quarter when Brunson was sitting was massive. They held the lead at that point.
Holiday now guarding Brunson. Towns gets a fake. Now drive, throws it inside. Robinson lays it up and in. An awkward alley-oop, but a successful one. Here's Horford, thought about it. Tatum drives, pulls back up. Three-pointer. Bounces off the rim, and Horford battling, and it's going to be Knicks ball. They call a foul on it. It's Horford's 2nd foul.
Karl-Anthony Towns was lucky he didn't get that foul call there, but on the other end, great decision. Could have had the 3, decides to drive, and then how many big can throw that pass? How many 7-footers can throw that pass? And even here, Al Horford trying to do the work, but Mikal Bridges battling against Al Horford. That's what gets them this possession.
Brunson. 1-on-1 with Holiday. Crossover, step back. That's a two-pointer. Way short. Tatum the rebound. Tatum was looking to throw it up the floor. Knicks got back defensively. Tatum, one side dribble, and hits another 3. 39 points for Jason Tatum, his 7th three-pointer, and the Celtics back up by 1.
What a response. He was 1 for 6 from 3 in the 3rd. Didn't lose confidence at all.
Bridges looking for the opening. Another two-point attempt. Another one goes down. 21 for Bridges. Tatum lobs it in. Porzingis drives inside. Layup, no good. Robinson the rebound. Anunoby fakes, drives on Porzingis, gets inside, banks it home. Timeout, Boston. Knicks back up by 3.
Kel Bridges put his foot on the gas. It started because Brunson was on the bench, and you've got to have somebody sustain your offense when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Not a surprise that every one of his buckets in the fourth are that patented fadeaway jump shot. The mid-range, that is his go-to. He's either in the corner shooting threes or he's getting to that aspect.
6:32 remaining. Here in the fourth, Celtics trying to win another road game. Tie the series and take that 3-1 lead before the series goes back to Boston. Anunoby, Robinson. Second half out there. It's Horford, Holiday, White, Porzingis, and Tatum. Right now, Jaylen Brown on the bench with 5 fouls. Josh Hart on the bench with 5. Holiday. McBride guarding White, fights over a screen. Into the hands of Tatum. Tatum drives, gets inside. Anunoby all over him. Tatum sneaks underneath. Count it, and a foul. Jason Tatum, chance for a 3-point play and to tie the game.
That was tough. Let's see this handle here. Tatum taking his time in traffic. Let's see. I think. Oh well. It didn't get hit out of his hand. I think he lost the ball. That's a tough one. You can hear the crowd watch. Great defense by OG. Ball drops. I think that's a double dribble in my opinion, because it wasn't hit out of his hand by somebody else.
Tatum completes the 3-point play. We're tied again. He's got 42. As we hit the halfway point here in the fourth quarter. Brunson fakes, drives, leans in, lobs it out to Anunoby. Dangerous pass with Holiday lurking. 6 on the shot clock. Anunoby a 3-pointer. Puts it in! OG Anunoby with his 4th 3-pointer. Knicks back up by 3. Tatum calmly brings the ball up the floor. He's been in these kind of games for years now. Tatum against Brunson, drives, pulls back. Brunson stays with him, ball knocked loose. Tatum finds Holiday, shot clock winding down. Holiday on the drive, gets inside, and banks it in. Almost drew a foul as well. Holiday, right place, right time.
And I think Jason Tatum is searching for that jump shot a little too much. He's losing control of that ball. Get off of it, get it back, reset.
Brunson against White. Hesitation, flips it up with the left hand. Bank shot's good. 33 for Jalen Brunson. Brunson unstoppable. Tatum unguardable. Under 5 to play here in game 4. Tatum again, pulls up, jump shot. Porzingis the rebound, but he's fouled on the floor. It's going to go against the Knicks. They're in the penalty.
Yeah, jersey pull, I believe, Mike. It's OG trying to contend with him weak side, and he's just going to hold on to the jersey.
Porzingis has always been a good free throw shooter throughout his career, 83%. And comes up way short that time. This Madison Square Garden crowd didn't have a chance to cheer in the fourth quarter of game 3 as the Celtics dominated. Misses both. Anunoby the rebound. They've got reason to cheer here in game 4 in the fourth. Holiday fighting over a screen. Brunson gets inside. Layup won't go. Rebound foot taken by Holiday. Horford to White. Corner 3. Won't go as well. Bridges comes up with a rebound.
Well, you were playing 5-on-4 and missed an opportunity. Brunson slowed across half court and you come away empty.
Brunson has Al Horford on him. Derek White looking to help. Shot clock down to 7. Brunson drives, gets past Horford, stops, pulls up, two-pointer, got it! 5-point lead for the Knicks with under 4 to play. Brunson's got 35. Tatum way outside. Too strong. Bridges the rebound. Brunson drives, shut off by Holiday. Nearly lost it. Brunson calling for it again, telling Robinson to go down. Anunoby sets the screen. He wanted to target Porzingis. Pass in the corner. Bridges off the bounce. Has to get it off. Puts it up. It's good! Mikal Bridges knocks it down. This is the largest lead of the series for the Knicks. Timeout Boston. 23 for Bridges.
The postseason clutch time has been a nightmare for the Boston Celtics. You know who it hasn't been a nightmare for? The New York Knickerbockers. Whether it's Mikal Bridges or the clutch player of the year, who has been absolutely brilliant in the clutch, putting it to the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, we talked about it in the open. What's the job? To keep it close, have other people be able to get you in this spot, to get to Brunson. And right now, the New York Knicks and Jalen Brunson are applying a lot of pressure on this Boston Celtics team, trying to put them in a position to be down 3-1.
Celtics are bringing up still plenty of time. Knicks in the penalty already. Celtics have only 2 team fouls. Jaylen Brown back in, lost the ball. Anunoby all by himself throws it down. And Tatum is hurt. Tatum is down. He wants a timeout. Tatum in so much pain. And the Celtics call timeout, grabbing that right ankle. And that's the final timeout for the Boston Celtics, but more importantly, Tatum really shaken up. That last sequence, turning the ankle, and you see the concern on Al Horford and the Celtics' faces.
He called a timeout there himself. He was calling the timeout.
42 points for Tatum tonight, but right now in a great deal of pain. Here's the injury, Richard.
Well, it's very difficult. You never presume anything, but that step forward, that false step forward, and he goes down immediately. We don't know what it is, but when you see a player in this position, you know, we thought, because we didn't see the play because we were looking at OG, was it a rolled ankle? Was it a tweak of something? We're not sure. We're going to let the doctors figure that out.
So Tatum hobbling back to the locker room, obviously couldn't put any weight at all on the right foot. Peyton Pritchard comes in. Under 3 to play. Knicks lead is now 9. Derek White to Brown. Brown lines up his three-pointer. Shot won't go. Rebound Bridges. Bridges making play after play here in the second half. And Brunson calls out a play. Pritchard right up into him. Again, the Celtics now out of timeouts. Obviously, they had to take that one. Brunson looking, step back, three-pointer. It's good! Rattled around and dropped through. Knicks up a dozen. Brunson with 38. Brown tries to answer, can't get it to fall. And Pritchard lost it out of bounds. Nick Ball.
Clutch player of the year is just delivering shot after shot. At some point, the body blows and you hit the mat. Jalen Brunson trying to put the Celtics to bed tonight.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Knicks look to take some time off the clock on each of these possessions with this 12-point lead. Brunson the drive. Inside Robinson. Knocked out of bounds. Still Nick Ball with 9 to shoot.
If you're Brunson, put that up on the rim. Because if you hand that off or drop that off to Mitchell Robinson, it could be 2 free throws. That could be a wasted possession. Put it up, let the big fella go get an offensive rebound or go get it tipped up.
Knicks have outscored the Celtics 65-42 here in the second half. Remember, the Celtics had a 14-point lead in the third. Turnover, Robinson, handoff, Holiday with the steal. Still time remaining. Inside, Brown, an easy layup and in. And it's cut to 10 with 1:49 remaining. White chasing. Here comes the double team. That one deflected out of bounds. Knicks still have 2 timeouts remaining. And Jason Tatum, you can see, distraught right now. As soon as we get an update, we'll pass it along. Hart and Towns come in. Mitchell, Robinson, and McBride. Robinson getting an ovation. Had a very big impact on this game. Deuce McBride hit a couple of threes. Brunson and Pritchard. Brunson on the drive. Anunoby. Anunoby gets inside and lays it up and in. It's back to a dozen with a minute and a half remaining. Pritchard launches a three-pointer. Back of the rim. Hart the rebound. And the fans starting to feel it here at the Garden. Brunson in the front court. Shot clock at 8. Brunson the drive, step back jumper. Won't go. Rebound Holiday, knocked loose. Picked up by Horford. Stolen by Hart, but Horford gets it. Ten-point game, under a minute remaining. Celtics really need to foul if they can't get a timeout. Make the Knicks miss. And the crowd starting to celebrate. Bridges can't get it. Towns a rebound and call for a foul with 38 seconds remaining. 5 fouls on Towns. Knicks on the verge of what you could say is the biggest win in 25 years in this franchise. And this, of course, could change everything. Watch the right foot. And right away he knew it. Couldn't put any pressure on it. Horford will go to the free throw line. Well, we saw in game 3, after 2 heartbreaking losses, Joe Mazzulla's team came in here to Madison Square Garden and had a championship response with a blowout victory to get within 2-1. Well, the Knicks with an emphatic response themselves in a game they trailed by 14 in the third quarter. Another big second half comeback in this series. And this will be the first home win after the road team won the first 3. Towns finishing touches. This crowd is so ready to celebrate as Pritchard knocks down the three-pointer. That makes it a 7-point game. Hart in the front court, and now the Celtics fouling. Of course, the Knicks make these free throws. Game's over. They miss. Celtics would still need a miracle. And again, no timeouts. Tom Thibodeau, you'd never know if he's up by 7 or down by 7.
Well, because his starters are always going to be in the game, as they should in this moment, to clear it up.
And that was only the first foul in the last 2 minutes. Don't forget, second game of our doubleheader, as Tom Thibodeau will call timeout. Knicks on the verge of taking a 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference semifinals. This will try and do what the Celtics have come up short on. They'll try and tie their series at 2 games apiece. That's the next game coming up on our doubleheader. Warriors and Timberwolves. Minnesota up 2 games to 1. And Steph Curry out. Celtics certainly hoping that Jason Tatum will not be out. Meanwhile, for Jalen Brunson, another playoff masterpiece, but he had plenty of help, Doris.
He sure did. Mikal Bridges, something flips in the second half of games because he struggles in the first or he's not involved, and then all of a sudden he puts his foot on the gas. He was brilliant when Jalen got his rest.
No, it was impressive. You got 3 guys with double-digit field goals. 11 field goals for Towns, 11 for Bridges, 14 for Brunson, and 8 for OG.
That number against a great Celtic team, to outscore them by that number, is so impressive. Dangerous inbound. Knocked away by Brown. Brown back to Pritchard. Pritchard looking to get a three-pointer off. Does. Shot is up. No good. Rebound Brunson. And that will do it. Horford fouls Brunson with 10.1 seconds remaining. And now 19,000 plus are going to rise up and celebrate. These Knicks fans went through a lot of difficult years. They've waited a long time for a night like this. But the series is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Not against this Celtic team that are going home. Obviously, such a key is the health of Jason Tatum. As Jalen Brunson getting the MVP chance. He is the #1 reason why the Knicks have turned their franchise around. Has been magnificent in the playoffs last year and this year. And he has his team now 1 win away from getting into the conference finals. Knicks have not been in the conference finals since 2000. Karl Anthony Towns, a strong game, 23 points, 11 rebounds. Of course, Jason Tatum was brilliant tonight, had 42 points, 8 rebounds, steals, blocks, but not enough. Pritchard, a couple of fakes, can't get it to go, and now dribbling out. This series is now 3 games to 1 in favor of the New York Knicks. So many former Knicks players, coaches, obviously, on to celebrate as the Boston Celtics have themselves 1 loss away from elimination. For stretching of this game, it's like a heavyweight fight. The Knicks and Celtics throwing roundhouse punches. But the fourth quarter, once again, for the 3rd time in this series, belong to the Knicks.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about in the open. You have such an elite late game finisher. For the top. And yes, you had other contributions from people in the 3rd quarter, in the 2nd quarter, but it is impressive to watch this Knicks team answer from last game.
Jalen, I'm going to get to your guys, OG, Cat, Mikhail, their performances, but I got to start with you. Just what changed with you when you came out of that locker room at halftime?
I don't know. Just found a way to make plays and get us going, and just got one more.
Could you feel yourself taking over the game?
No, I was just in the flow. I was just do whatever it took. I wasn't really thinking, trying to take over. I was just whatever we got to do.
Now your guys, Kat, OG, especially Mikhail, can you describe the impact that they had?
I mean, they played phenomenal. Didn't quit, kept fighting, and that's what's most important. Whenever you get in the hole, you can't quit, and we showed that.
Up 3-1 with a chance to close it out in Boston. How do you get that done?
You got to focus. Focus. It's going to be a great place to play, great environment. You got to focus. That's a great team over there.
Congrats on the win. Mike.
All right, Lisa, again, it shows you how the momentum can switch so quickly. After 2 wins for the Knicks to start, people are saying the Celtics might be in trouble. And then the Knicks getting blown out. They said, will the Knicks win another game? And then they come out and play maybe their best game of the season. But this is the key thing going forward. Jason Tatum, late in the 4th quarter, grabs that right foot, could not put any weight on it, carried off and back to the locker room. Obviously still no update, but you could tell Tatum was in incredible pain after an incredible performance. There's another playoff gem for Jason Tatum, but it ends in agony. So now the Knicks up 3 games to 1. Game 5 will be in Boston on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Indiana up 3 games to 1 as that series goes back to Cleveland. 2 emphatic responses from these 2 Eastern Conference powers. Celtics did it in Game 3. Knicks did it in Game 4. Now they have a commanding 3 games to 1 lead. Our producer, Tim Corrigan. Director, Mike Schwab. Of course, for Richard, Doris, and Lisa, and our standing crew. Coming up next, Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals. Timberwolves and Warriors from San Francisco. Right now, though, let's go back to the studio. We send it to Malika.
поле шагишь. Дремотой розовой объята, трава не кошеной межи. Ни ветерка, ни крика птицы, но дрожжи красный диск луны. И замирают песничницы среди вечерней тишины. Забудь заботы и печали, умчись без цели на коне. В тумане луговые дали, навстречу ночи и луне.
Превратила все в шутку сначала, поняла, принялась укорять, головою красивой качала, стала слезы платком вытирать. И зубами дразня хохотала, неожиданно все позабыв. Вдруг припомнила все, зарыдала, 10 шпилек на стол уронив. Подурнела, пошла, обернулась, воротилась, чего-то ждала, проклинала, спиной повернулась и, должно быть, навеки ушла. Что ж, пора приниматься за дело.
It's so cold. Now I'm wondering how I'm gonna get you back. Hey, nothing about to make it right. Jamila ya payment. The doggy da bangan Jamila ba. The doggy da banji muryanta ba. Hey, wayo, I name a Jamila. Jamila, don Allah gida babu abin da zai raba mu har abada. Jamila, zuciya na ɓaciwa. Gida gida, gida gida, gida gida. Ooh, no matter what people do or say, this love will never die. If I knew I never hurt you so bad, drinking so much, too much women in my life. Kwashe mata. Jamila, I'm so sorry. I mean a girl. Inna dagida na gan Jamila na. Inna dagida inji muryan Jamila. Inji abincin Jamila.